All praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. A thought occurred to me. I was actually looking at a video, and it kind of inspired me to ask this question. And the question is, what do you value more? Because when it comes to coming out of her, my people, or going into, living in community, and, people thinking it's weird, or you're part of a cult, or, things like that, and you compare that and you compare it to the world, you have to ask the question for yourself, what do you value more? That's what it comes down to. And if you have values, people follow their values. They follow their values. If you value the nice big home, and you value, having 3, 4, 5 cars, the nicest cars, or you value having all the, the latest tech, you have your Fire Stick, and you have your Netflix and Hulu, and the big, 70-inch TV, and the, 4K, cameras and all. If you value those things, if you value traveling a lot, if you value, and I have some of those things, right? But if that's what you value, that's what you're gonna go towards. And sometimes people change their values. So if your values are, community, I want to know who my neighbors are, I want to grow my own food, I want to serve my God, I want to help my people, I want to leave an inheritance for my children, I don't want to be surrounded by unbelievers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365, then you go towards your values. That's the question. What do you value? That's really all it is. That's really all it is. Because if you concern yourself about, what other people think about you living in a community or whatever, why would you care what someone who doesn't share your values or your beliefs, why would you care what they think? Why would you care? You see, living set apart and getting out of the, city, and if that's what the Most High put on your heart, then that's what you do. But why would you care what someone else thinks? If they don't share the exact same values as you do, they don't serve the God that you do, then what do you care? Think about it. I don't care what Satan worshipers think. I don't care. I don't share their values. I don't care what atheist thinks. I don't care. I don't share their values. You see what I'm saying? If you don't share their values, if they don't share your values, why do you care? Don't worry about that. Okay, that's the thing. You just don't worry about that. You worry about you and your values and the Most High that you serve. Yeah, they're gonna say you're in a cult or something like that, but that's just it's kind of an odd notion. When they say that, they know not what they're saying. I say that because wouldn't you say that the Israelites were a cult when they were coming out of Egypt? All these people, they're following the voice of an unseen God, and some woolly-haired Hebrew dude is telling them, hey, follow me, and the Lord, the Most High God, is saying, come on out in the wilderness, and all this other stuff, right? Then they're going out and they're camping around mountains, and then they're wandering around the wilderness for 40 years and stuff. Sounds like a cult, right? If I did that today, you would say that's a cult, right? What about Nineveh, when Jonah had to go over to Nineveh and warn them, and then the king of Nineveh at the time sanctified fast, and everybody had to be in sackcloth and ashes, and everybody, including the animals, couldn't eat. They had to, they had to fast or whatever. Why is this king got all these people fasting? They're in sackcloth and ashes. The animals can't eat nothing. Sounds like a cult. Even Mashiach, even Jesus the Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, Yahoshua, Yahawashah, you pick. Getting his 12, and they're going around teaching a particular doctrine, dwelling together, breaking bread together, teaching the gospel. Wouldn't you say that's a cult? Small group of people sharing the same beliefs, trying to teach it to other people, recruiting, making disciples. Acts 2, Acts 4, breaking bread together, having all things in common. So when people say, it's a cult or whatever, you don't share their values. They don't share your values. Why would you care? Who cares what they think? Who cares what they think? And I don't get it sometimes. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to go out and live in community? And why would you want to... First and foremost, if I wanted to get out, live in a community, go off somewhere in some rural town somewhere, and you don't share my values, me getting away from you, isn't that doing you a favor? Am I not doing you a favor? You and I, if we don't share the same values, and I leave, I'm like, okay, I'm away from you. I'm not going anywhere to hurt anybody. I'm away from you. Aren't you happy now that, hey, I don't have these weird Bible people, these commandment keepers around me? Right? So, I'm actually doing you a favor. I'm doing you a favor. I mean, yeah, I want to get to a place to where, I can dwell with the brethren, and, I can serve my God, right? The way the Bible, prescribes, or as close to it as I can possibly get, right? So yeah, I want to be away from unbelievers, at least not be surrounded by them all the time. I want to get away from unbelievers. I can work with unbelievers, do my job, and then go back with believers. I can do that, but I don't want to sleep and break bread with unbelievers all the time, right? So yeah, I want to get away for that's one of the reasons I want to get away from that. But on the flip side of that coin, if you're an unbeliever and I'm getting away from you because what I believe doesn't jive with you, I'm doing you a favor. Aren't I doing you a good thing? So why would you complain? Why would you name call? Why would you backbite? Why? I don't understand. You're getting what you want, right? Example. You have someone, they are, I don't want to pick on, Muslims or Buddhists or whatever, but someone have a completely different faith, right? Let's say you have Satan worshipers, okay? We can all get behind that, right? You have some Satan worshipers or whatever, and they say, you know what? I just want to go off and live separate. You applaud it. You're like, yes, get these people away from me. Now, obviously, you don't want them to go and, sacrifice people and hurt people, but I'm just saying, okay? You don't want to be around them. So the same thing. If we don't share the same values, then we should be separate. But look at what we have now. When you're in the cities, right? And you're in the neighborhoods, you're in the communities, American community, in the homes. I don't know my neighbors. Oh, well, yeah, you should get to know them. Okay, let's say I get to know them, I don't really like them. Let's say I get to know them and we don't share the same values, right? So if I'm in my house, and then this time of year comes around, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, then come Easter, Valentine's Day, all that stuff, right? I'm not decorating my home. I'm not throwing the party. I'm not decorating my home or what. So already there's a difference right there, right? So, okay, I get to know my neighbors to what end? Okay? Oh, well, maybe you can minister to them and, they'll change. Okay, and what if they don't? You see, so, I mean, you may as well follow your values. Everybody, everyone, you, me, follow your values. Live what you believe. Invest in your values. You don't want to get to the end of your life, 70, 80, 90 years old, and then you're thinking, man, I should have did this in my life. I should have went hard for this or that or whatever. If you want to live in community, if that's your value, it's not for everybody. If that's your value, then do that. Do that. Now, I mean, I feel like we're called to do that, you know. I do. I feel like we're called to do that, and I'm making moves to do that. But I don't think it's cut out for everybody. I don't think it's cut out for everybody, because it's not the concept of living in community. The concept of living in community can work for anyone, but not everyone is cut out for it, because it's something in them. It's something inside them. It's something something doesn't click. Maybe they don't want to submit. Maybe they don't like the leadership. Maybe they're lazy. Maybe they want a community to take care of them and they don't want to do anything. Maybe they're selfish, Ananias and Sapphira or whatever. Maybe they're like, nope, what's mine is mine, what's theirs is theirs, or that, you know, whatever. So no, it is not for everyone. That's why that's why communities have and some need to have, a weeding out process, right? But I'm just saying, this video is about your values, whether it's living in community or not. It's about what do you value, because that's what people move towards, consciously or subconsciously. That's what people do. They move in that direction. They move in the direction of their values, or some would say their dominant thought. So that's really what it's all about. Now, when you declare your values, when you are concrete on what you want, concrete on what you're going to do, and I'm talking, biblically and living for the Most High and stuff like that, you may get ridiculed. You may get name called. You may get looked at sideways and funny. You're going to have to eat that. You're going to have to eat that. That's how it goes. You're going to have to eat that. Okay? Just remember what you're doing it for and to whom you're doing it for. Remember why you're doing it in the first place. And don't be discouraged. Because at the end of the day, people talking about you doesn't matter as much as who is watching you and who is watching over you. So what are your values? Israelite Prepper.